Hey everybody, hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. As you can see, we got the C6 here up on the quick jacks. I saved you guys the time, and in previous videos I talked about not wanting to use it on this floor because I saw on a YouTube video somewhere that one of the jacks had slipped out during lifting. I just did the trans fluid in the C7. I got it parked over here. I'll spin the camera around for you. I decided to do it on the floor because it was like 30 degrees here in North Carolina, and it makes maneuvering the jacks. I could see how it could slip because maneuvering the jacks is so easy. Sliding around, each jack weighs roughly 70 pounds. But I'm going to start doing it now strictly on the floor. I had no issues whatsoever with doing it on the floor, but I took the car out not too long ago this week before it got cold, and went to put it in the garage at the end of the night and noticed there was a small puddle right here actually on the driveway. And I had a sneaking suspicion that I knew what it was, and it has a small leak from the lower radiator hose. So we're going to get underneath and do that. But last winter, I did the trans fluid in it. I put the AMSOIL torque drive, the synthetic automatic transmission fluid. I did not know that manual transmissions use automatic transmission fluid, but that's what AMSOIL recommends. So that's what we used. And then today also I plan on changing the diff fluid. I've owned the car now since 2012. I bought it with 48,000 miles on it, and it currently has like 62,000 miles on it. So AMSOIL recommends their 7590 severe gear. And I bought this when I bought the transmission fluid, but I didn't change it because reading through the forums, there was other users saying that you needed to add the friction modifier on there, but nothing from AMSOIL. Well, they've, as of this year, have updated it that you need to add their 6.8 ounces of the ACDelco limited slip axle lubricant additive. So I have 2 bottles of these, 3 bottles of 3 quarts of this. So we'll get after it. A blunder on my part when I did the C7. Got it right there. When I did the transmission on that, put a new filter in it, new gasket and everything, I would say the hardest part of doing the transmission fluid on that was the fill is right there on the top side, not top side, but where the gasket for the pan mounts to on the passenger side. It's a little plunger they pull up, and they got to pop the actual, we'll say, cap off. It's difficult to get to, and I recorded that, but while trying to make the video, deleted. I thought it was uploaded and it wasn't, so it's gone for forever. And I use the AMSOIL ATF Signature Series. Another blunder on my part, it recommends AMSOIL the fuel efficient, so the blue series. I put in the red. Automatic transmission fluid, this is multi-vehicle, so I've driven the car probably 50 miles since. Shifts super smooth, no issues. So I'm going to keep it in it. I mean, that's really expensive. It's about $150 with my preferred member discount, but we'll keep rolling with it. Lastly, I appreciate the people that keep on subscribing. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm in the military, and I was deployed to the Horn of Africa for the last 7 months, and that's the reason for no new videos. I had some old stuff on my phone that I was able to upload. I think like the LS7 Carnage video was just old stuff on my phone, or I started recording it prior to leaving. But with that being said, we'll get everything set up. We'll crawl under here. We'll look at the lower radiator return, and then we will get the diff fluid drained, the new diff fluid in. Okay, on my 2007, the drain is actually right here. You're going to pull that C-clip out, and it'll drain straight down, and then your fill is actually right here where this is pointing at. and that's just use a 10mm hex, or you can just use a 1/2" wrench. So we'll get this pulled and start draining, and then we'll start the process. All right, this should go without saying, but I do it every single time when I change my oil in my diff. Pull the drain from the fill of your drain plug, otherwise it's going to overflow and you have to stick your finger in it. As you can see, you still got trans fluid on this from when I did the C7. Underneath the car is pretty clean. I got the FOT Tri-Wise Catless X pipe. Yeah, I only use the car for off-road only. Here you can see the bulkhead fitting from my ECS aux pump. It is a returnless style. You can see the upper fitting for return. I plan on eventually making it a full return style, give me more fuel pressure control, but that's pulled. Once we get this drain plug pulled, we'll start recording again. Okay, quick return from the auto parts store. Maybe I was confusing videos from the C6 to the C7 rear diffs and the Z06s. I was told on one video that you could just use a regular 1/2" socket. That is 100% not the case. I had to go to the auto parts store and buy a 10mm hex, $6. And I'm glad I did that before I tried pulling off the C-clamp, because if I would pull the C-clamp, drain the diff, then I never would have been able to get the fill cap off. So there's a C-clamp. A video I watched, they put a zip tie around this because it's just a halfway C-clamp. I'm gonna zip tie it as well. I mean, that'd be catastrophic if this popped out. I mean, this piece here is, I'm assuming is OEM. My car's an 07, so it's old, and I was stranded somewhere, or it popped off on the highway, which rarely drive the car on the highway. But anyways, I'm gonna got everything set up. So get this camera positioned where you can see what we're doing. Okay, here we go. So C-clamp goes there. Got this. It's already fairly loose, so just wiggle it. I'm trying not to. There it goes. Being gentle with it. I don't want to spray myself with gear oil because it stinks. Everything's lined up. About to come out. And we have dripping. Oh yeah, that is good and dirty. And she's out, and that does smell. It actually doesn't look too horrible here inside of the oh yeah. So we see our milk. That's what it looks like coming out. So you can see the metal in there. I cracked the fill port, so let me loosen it some more. But you can hear it gulping right now. There it goes. So pull this the rest of the way out. There it goes. Now it's full-blown breathing. And there's our chocolate milk. When I put the McLeod RXT, the twin disc in this, it was still NA, and I was getting diff chatter. I didn't know what diff chatter was at that point. The car was chattering, and it never chattered before. So this is long overdue. Hopefully that takes care of the diff chatter, and it only does it off of like a very slow traffic stop launch, if you will. I hesitate to even call that a launch, but pulling off. But what you're going to need when you change this fluid, I already showed you guys. 3 quarts of the severe gear, 75/90 from AMSOIL. But then there's a service bulletin to add the the limited slip axle lubricant additive. You need 6.8 quarts. It comes in 4 ounce or 6.8 ounces. It comes in 4-ounce bottles, so I bought 2 of them. But we'll get back to this, and once I start filling, get everything set back up, I will get you guys back recording. So we're back under here. It's just trickling right now. I'm getting ready to shove the cooler line back up in there, put the C-clamp, and then put that zip tie around it. The lighting in my garage is horrible. Working under a car is absolutely atrocious. But I'll share this with you guys. My wife has these right here, and you can program it for any color you want. One was red, the other one's underneath there was green. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna use these things from now on out while working underneath my car. It's LEDs. I don't know, there's probably 24 LEDs underneath there, but you see how bright it is here now. Like my pocket Husky LED, that thing's pretty awesome. But these spotlights right here, and then I can angle it, get more of an angle on it. It's everything I need to see is illuminated down here, so pretty pleased with that. I'm gonna let it drip for just a little bit more. I'll set this camera up, and then we will cap that. I put a glove on because plug completely out. It's a 10mm hex, like I said earlier, that I learned. I would say when it comes to stuff like this, patience is a virtue. Normally I wouldn't have patience, but when I did it, and as I was saying last summer, as you can see up there, that orange sticker says Dex 3 use only, or use Dexron 3 ATF only. That was fairly simple to change. Fill plugs on the top, drain plugs in the bottom. There's actually a lot of room with these manuals compared to the auto, where you got to drop the pan on the on my C7. I've never been underneath a automatic C6. Still see it's still dripping just a tad bit. Okay, we're gonna plug it up. Up in there. Got my paper towel here to wipe everything off. Once I get the C-clamp back on there, I'll give it like a really good clean. Push it all the way up, feel a good click. Okay, that C-clamp. There you go, there's the C-clamp. Hopefully that was focused, probably not. And it's back on. Okay, I got my pump. Screws right into my AMSOIL tank. So let's get pumping. Oh, by the way, that C-clamp, there's keys on the clamp, so it can only go in one way. When I initially put it on, I was like, man, that's sitting on there awful loose, and then I spun it and it snapped on, so. Okay, you see it starting to come out more. I'm going to give you some fluid. I'm actually going to dump this last little bit in here into this original container with the friction additive. Okay, that took me back up to 12. Put the lid back on. Let me clean it real quick. Okay, that is on. This rear subframe, it's slotted right there, so it's like drained right down through there. One of the, I guess the engineers did us a favor. Okay, you tighten the sucker back up, and right there. When I originally put this thing, took it off, it was absurdly tight, obnoxiously. Let me look up if there's a torque spec on this real quick. Okay, there's a torque spec and it's 20 foot-pounds. Okay, we're there. Okay, let me clean up this mess. I'll save you guys that. Okay, tools you'll need to complete this job: a 10mm hex, whatever ratchet drive you want. My fill plug was absurdly tight. The torque spec to put it back in was 20 foot-pounds, so it was way tighter than that. You need a hook to pull the C-clamp on the 07 drain at the bottom of the diff. I found that this one here works the best. It's rounded, you can grab it, pull it out. Keep in mind when you're putting that C-clamp back in, it's teethed, so it only goes one way. It's got 3 clamp points where it comes in, 1 in the back and then 2 on the sides. I put a zip tie around it when it went back in, just keep them going out. You need your fluid, obviously, a jack. I use the quick jack setup, makes things super easy when doing mine. You need a hand pump. It's getting dark here. Hey, what's that guy? So that's the hand pump I use. It's a Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight. Costs $7. I'm actually going to throw it away after this. And then you need a drip pan or something to catch the used diff fluid. Otherwise, to make sure everything's good, there's a procedure. You don't want to take the car over 10 miles per hour. You want to do a bunch of figure eights. Turn it left, turn it left, turn it right, turn it right. So for me, I'm going to move this Z06. My mailbox is down there. I'm going to drive around the neighborhood, do a couple laps around that, and then come back. I'll throw the suction cup, throw it in the window, we'll go for a ride. The car is so obnoxiously loud. I did hear the diff chatter prior, so we'll see if we hear diff chatter or not now.